Comic Cons, Comic Cons, Comic Cons, Comic Cons, Comic Cons.
All right, everyone, I'm here with two people who cemented themselves in hip-hop. Concept album, classic album. Let's find out. Introduce yourselves to the people.
I'm Stan Ipkiss, producer, HPT representative, CEO, founder, all that. Headphone Therapy is me.
Okay.
New Sage with the Fifth, the Comic Con Don, here at the legendary Fortress of Solitude.
In North New Jersey, salute. All right, gentlemen, so I wanted to do this interview because people hear me review albums, and I want them to actually meet the artist that's behind the album, because it's more than just, this is a good album, you should get it. You also should put the faces there so people can identify with who they're listening to. So, please, Comic Con, the album. How did the concept for taking comic books and putting it into the hip-hop world manifest within you?
Starting with you, start with me.
Start with you.
You're gonna start with me. Okay, well, number one, lifelong comic book fan. Number two, lifelong hip hop fan, so it had to be inevitable, right? But, you know, a dude like me was fighting it, like I've said this before. Cats have said make comic book rhymes. I said no, I'm gonna make regular rhymes. Eventually this album came to one thing. We were at a beat battle. I heard Ipkiss through, it was a Tiny Champagne event. It was a beat battle or a beat showcase or something like that. I was just getting to know Ipkiss, and he throws on this, the Batman beat, the one you know as To the Bat Holes, and in my head, I go crazy.
Classic.
I'm sitting there, I'm ignoring the beat battle, I go in the zone trying to fit my bars to that beat. It doesn't go, I give up the idea. Week later, he puts up an Incredible Hulk beat, the one that you know is smash with five exclamation points, right? Cousin Chief, you know Chief, KGB, he calls me, he says, did you hear that beat? I said, yes. He said, get it. I said, nah, that beat is way too fast. He said, you're crazy. Get the beat. I call Stan, he charges me full price for the beat. My face says, okay, Stan. In the back of my head, I'm like, I'm New Sage with the Fifth, you don't charge me full price for the beat. I explained it to Chief, I explained it to Grump, I explained it to Tanya. They said, pay that man, get that beat. I get the beat, I do the song, Stan likes it, Joe hates it. And you know, we start working from there. He's into comic books, I'm into comic books. I thought it was a good match.
All right, so you heard the beats, and the beats were spectacular. Now, in hip-hop history, comic books have been present from even before Rapper's Delight. We've had comic book references from Scott LaRock, Super Ho, in certain little lines with KRS-One. We've had, like I said, the Superman line of Sugar Hill Gang. I think the most outstanding usage of comic book characters and cartoon characters in hip-hop came from Ice Cube's Gangsta Fairy Tale. You had Ray and Ghostface, The Forest, and J. Rue Damage's seminal classic, You Can't Stop the Prophet, and part 2 to that. Run DMC. I mean, in that line, that's been a hole that hasn't been filled in hip-hop for a couple years now, creativity. How important was it for you not only to bring the project to life, but to be as creative as possible and bring ears to that sound?
It's all part of the formula. It's like, it's one thing to make songs, it's one thing to make a mixtape, it's another thing to make truly a project, truly a hip-hop album. I think that's what a lot of MCs have mastered in the 90s. You know, 90s is when MCs build to that classic sound and you get that classic 16 to 20 song album where everything makes sense and you play it from front to back. It controls your moods, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry. So, you know, when I approach a project, I think, how can I do that? How can I make every song match but give you a variety of songs and a variety of feelings of what I do?
All right, now, in understanding that, this question is for Stan, Mr. Ipkiss. I know you didn't make them beats and said I'm gonna become a superhero. You know what I'm saying? But to see the direction in which the beats have gone and with how the project has been made, please enlighten us. When the project was coming together and the idea of a comic book album came, how did you try to marry the project with your sound and his rap technique in the theme?
Interesting question. Again, I was always a comic book lover from day one. I guess it was almost kind of a match made in heaven as far as his love of comic books, my love of comic books. We're both into music. With my sound and my love of comic books, I just kind of I had to like go on off of him and off of myself, and kind of as a producer, you gotta like get that creativity flowing. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain to me. But it's just like I work with other artists, and you have to like kind of be a chameleon with them. Like, let's say I work with Joe Dirt, I gotta match his old school sound. Let's say I work with Bruce, I gotta match his godly, whatever sound he likes. Here comes Deuce, a little unorthodox, likes comic books, I like comic books. There you go. It's just like, I as a producer, you have to be kind of in tune with whoever your artist is. So, I don't know if I explained that correctly, but it's just...
No, it sounds perfect.
I think you gotta understand that this isn't a, me and Stan hook up and, you wanna make a comic book album, boom, you Shazam, you got a comic book album. This sound grew over the course of years, along with Stan and I getting to know each other. So the first beat I rock to, I don't know Stan at all. I know that the beat is called Incredible. I know that in it says Smash. So I try to match that intensity. I try to think without knowing Stan, what was he thinking when he made this beat, right? Obviously the Hulk, but I don't want to just make an Incredible Hulk song. Anybody could make a couple of Incredible Hulk references. I wanted to go into the essence of what is the Hulk about, and the Hulk is about a normal guy that's holding in these feelings of anger. So basically that's what the song developed into, along with writing to an Ipkiss beat without him around. He's unorthodox when it comes to sequence. He's unorthodox when it comes to layering of samples. It's like, that's why I like it, because it's different like me. That Incredible Hulk song is more jazz than anything to my ear. Playing without the samples, listening to it, it's a lot of samples that don't sound like they belong together, but do, and it's magical, right? So then you go from there to me wanting the Batman beat, and Ipkiss saying no, he doesn't know me. He knows me at all. He knows that I'm an awkward rhymer. This is one of his favorite beats. You're not gonna fuck up that beat. He gives me the Superman beat. I feel challenged. I say, okay, what was Ipkiss thinking when he made the Superman beat? He must have been thinking about being super. I combine super with going to a party. I dumb down my rhyme style to make sure you can understand every word I'm saying. And from there, in my head, we are Comic-Cons. It's not in his head yet. I had to win him over through constantly slaying this song. So he says, okay, you want to do the Comic-Con album? Let's do it.
Okay, but wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. Because you've taken me in a whole different direction than the interview that I wanted to do, and that's great.
Yeah, I hope you cut this up, because I got,
Yeah, because now I got something to ask you. Now we're going to take it to a comic book level and revert it back to hip-hop, okay? I would like to start with Stan first and go back and forth. As a producer, as a comic book lover, there's something that appeals to you about the superhero. What is it that appeals to you and it feeds your creative essence?
Music.
Okay.
The music. When you read comic books, you kind of hear. I don't know if everybody else does this, but you kind of hear theme music as you read them. Like as the action goes on, you kind of hear. I kind of hear music going on as stuff is happening. Then when I watch, you watch the TV shows, you watch the movies, you hear their soundtrack or their music behind them. A lot of them I'm not too fond of, but the ones that do hit me is like I gotta do it. I gotta like put my own spin to it because I'm a comic book lover. I guess that's my explanation of it.
Okay, Deuce, what about you? What is the energy that you get or the inspiration that you get from the books that you fed into your style to make this project actually happen? Did you go?
I feel like I said, it's all about design, choosing these topics and beats to rhyme over the subjects of what I'm rhyming about, right? Deuce Age with the Fifth ain't for everybody, right? This album is not for everybody. At 16, you're gonna miss a lot of references because these references are specifically for those that sat in as a kid in dirty Newark in a poor home, looking forward to 8 o'clock the night you can stay up because the Incredible Hulk is on. And you sitting there not really understanding the story, but waiting for him to turn into the Incredible Hulk, right? So if that's you, those end notes, the same end notes that on Smash, you're gonna feel it right here. Same thing with Wonder Woman. Like Wonder Woman is the embodiment of giving young girls a hero to look up to, so they don't just have to be the victim. You know, I try to capture that feeling in the song. Like I said, I'm not just trying to make songs with a bunch of superhero references, or there's a couple of them up there just to satisfy the audience that's expecting that. I'm trying to get to the essence of what is Superman, the essence of what is the Hulk, the essence of, what is Doctor Who, so.
Okay.
The reality story behind it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me because if we look at the dichotomy of how comic books are written, in Marvel Comics, heroes are unappreciated. They're flawed. And because they take their flaws to go to the next level, as a reader, you can appreciate the hero more because you can relate to them in some way. That's why Marvel Comics has always been known as having some of the greatest heroes. With the Hulk, you deal with somebody who's dealing with psychotic episodes.
Schizophrenia, I was thinking about that this morning. Like, he has a mental illness.
Yeah, and even when he turns into other Hulks, they fight in his brain for control. In Spider-Man, you have the guy who's always trying to do good, who potentially is looked at as a failure, but he gives his life.
Dude is always trying to make up for
a death that he could have. Right.
Like, no matter how many people you save, you can't make up for your Uncle Ben dying and it being your fault, or in your head your fault. Like, these things are deep, not just.
That's kind of similar to Batman.
Very similar.
Once again, Batman out DC Comics, the heroes are gods. They are revered and loved by the people, and as a god, which is missed with even with the DC movies, on a god level, you're fighting for the world, not for their personal perspective. And yes, Batman deals with psychosis, schizophrenia, kleptomaniacs, lust, greed, envy, hatred. Superman being an orphan. Wonder Woman, how to love in a world where you're not comfortable.
It goes deep because it's like Superman is the embodiment of the American dream, and Batman is the embodiment of the American nightmare. Metropolis, Gotham is the same city. Newark is a metropolis in the daytime. It's a Gotham at nighttime. It's two sides of the same coin. Like I said, these are deep concepts. It's like superheroes are fantasy. It's everything we want to be and look up to. But at the same time, it's also very much reality. It's a metaphor for life.
So Stan, let me ask you this. In relating those two comic book genres to the hip hop world, it seems like great producers and MCs either hit God level or they're unappreciated. As a producer, how do you feel in context of putting the product out and waiting for the reaction of the fans? Do you feel like with the style that you have, and my personal opinion, I think your sound doesn't have a name to it yet, and that's what makes it perfect. Perfect doesn't mean it's flawless, everybody. Perfect means it's balanced. And the thing about your sound is when it hits people, I know some people either gonna get it or they're not going to get it. But if they see the flaws, they see potential and growth. And if you're chief to them, then they see the godlyhood of what could come from your sound. When you put it out, what are you looking for when it comes to the ear? Are you looking for the general acceptance, or are you looking for the head nod to see that they follow and catch your message?
Meaning as far as the music goes?
The music.
How's it going?
It's inspiration. I always look for people to be inspired by my music. For them to grow within what they hear. I mean, it's not always like I'm gonna say. I'm gonna use today's, for example. Today's music is all the same.
So
all of it is the same.
hold off and
So here I come wanting to change all that.
Okay.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people like to follow. I want to change all that. It's not like I purposely try to be different. I just am different. And I just want people to be inspired to be different. You don't have to be this same thing, the same sound, the same format. Like you can even let's say if I was to like get bigger and bigger like that, I want people to go beyond me. I want people to go beyond whatever. I want them to transcend music. So whenever I do music, whenever I put something out, I want someone to do better. Not to say that I'm always up here, but I'm confident that I'm good. But I just want someone to do better. I want someone to believe that they can do better.
To the deep, friendly neighborhood rap hood. We're good. We're a phenomenon. We play outside of the box, so where the panels drawn.